I believe this also means that, yep, I was just double checking, Dark is the one, the only. Spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the last Zerg player of the entire tournament. Nothing but Protoss and Terran surround him. He is all alone. He is representing CranKy Z Gaming, the South Korean Zerg player, Dark. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent going for potentially a 2 racks opener. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Now, this is why Clem can be really unpredictable to play against, because he has been going for the Beyond opener. He has been going for 2 racks openers. He's been going for even the special opener, which is a racks into factory on the low ground as well. But this is going to be a 2 racks instead. And with this, we're going to be having an abundance of Reapers initially, and we'll see what the follow-up is going to be. Obviously, Beyond, it's difficult to emulate Beyond, and Beyond does have arguably the best Reaper control in the world. But Clem is, you know, he's definitely up there as well. He can make use of this build, and he can definitely overwhelm an unexpected Zerg player. Behind this, we do have Dark going for a hatch gas pool opener. So standard opener from Dark, and Dark has a lot of practice, but ooh, mate, this is not a 2 racks, this is a 3 racks. Which means Clem is going to do one thing and one thing only, and that is make Reapers. He's going to be making nothing but Reapers here. Mass Reaper from Clem. You can transition out of this, but this is designed to snowball out of control. This is designed to kill queens, and if we get too many queen kills, then we can get into the mineral lines, we can kill workers, and the game may just end. But again, Dark has practice. Dark has plenty of practice against this. He plays against Beyond many a time. Now here we go. Overlord does at least confirm the 2 racks on the low ground, and once we see, after these 2 Reapers, if we see additional Reapers on the way and no add-ons, then Dark will know that it is a 3 racks. Again, you typically only make 3 Reapers if it is a 2 racks opener. As Reapers are going to be dancing here with the Lings of Dark. Forcing a Spine Crawler, more queens are on the way. Dark confirms, by the way, the lack of add-ons and the continued Reaper production. So now Dark knows. He's going for his 3rd base on time as well, which is a bit of a risky move, not gonna lie. Does pull out completely from gas. As Dark brings his queens forward. His main base is looking a little bit more exposed. But it is the give and take that we do have. As more Reapers are coming across the map. We are expanding behind this. We do have a 3rd CC on the way. And especially with the Spine Crawler, it looks like Clem won't be able to push into the natural, but he will force a cancel on this 3rd base. There is no way for Dark to hold on to this. It is buying Dark a lot of time, though. We do get the cancel at the last second, but now we have a Spine Crawler. Now we have 2 queens at the natural and a queen and Lings in the main base. Dark is very well fortified on his 2 bases, but again, to be forced to cancel that 3rd base, it is going to be worth it here for Clem as he backs off and he transitions. I appreciate how conservative he is as well. I do know that if we had a player like Beyond here, he would be dancing, poking, prodding, and looking for more damage. But Clem, he's, you know, respecting the positioning of Dark, and he completely backs off. He wants to make sure he doesn't throw away his Reapers. And really, they're the only thing keeping him alive right now, as there are no other units on the field. Doesn't want to get surrounded when Link Speed kicks in. Behind this, ooh, we are going to be going for an add-on switch, and we are prioritizing Hellion production, actually. So, an interesting choice here by Clem. This can lead towards a Hellbat push, once we do get into Sim and Combat Shields. As the Hellions are going to be... I love this! The Hellions are going to be supporting these Reapers, which means Lings are not going to be enough to clean this up. This force from Clem is going to be that much more threatening. Meanwhile, we only have 8 Lings. Dark has to be very careful as he brings all of his queens forward. Ling's going to be going for a counterattack. Clem looking for an opening. As Dark threw down a very early Roach Warren, by the way, which I do appreciate as well. I mean, Dark sees everything. He knows about the Hellions. He's aware of the lack of army here at the Natural as well. Clem is very vulnerable to a Roach push. And Clem hasn't scouted. Despite all these Reapers, he hasn't gone into the main base. He doesn't know about the Roaches. Not yet. Until now. Hellions do dive into the main, but no, they do pull back. Roaches are moving out. They still haven't been scouted. Oh. Ooh, I think for a moment there, a Roach was spotted. As Clem is reinforcing across the map, the wall is not a wall. And the army runs into the Roaches. This is going to be a good trade for Clem. Does catch these Roaches. In the end, he'll be able to focus them down. Every single Roach will fall, but we have another group of Roaches behind this. As Ling Ravager is flooding across the map. Clem racing back home, walling off. We have a tank on the way. No bunker. Uh-oh. Dark doesn't want to rush in without his Ravagers. But again, the army has arrived. I love the choke point that Clem has created here with the lowering of that depot. Lings do not want to flood in. Not yet. But here we go. The bunker does fall. Mine shots. Oh my god. A juicy mine shot on those Lings. Ay, ay, ay. We have a reinforcements. The Ravagers are under threat. The tank comes out. And it looks like Clem is going to be able to hold on. Does lose the tank in the end, but will clean up all these Roaches and Lings. Immediately he throws down a third CC. Dark looking to saturate his third base behind this, droning as heavily as he can. He has a couple of Lings, don't get me wrong, but he also has eyes on the wall still with this Overlord. Honestly, he could try and surround this. He could even try and dive on top of the tank. Widowmines could even do some additional friendly fire, and he's going for it. Oh! But Marines come out just in time. Dark playing with fire right now. Will lose all of his Lings, and these Roaches are quite expensive. Doesn't want to throw them away. Is going to attempt to back off here and just trade with these Marines as best he can. Behind this, fourth base is on the way. We're taking all of our gases. We're droning up to 68 at this point. It looks like we're transitioning to try to hit a 1-1 timing with Roaches. I imagine +1 range and carapace will be on the way. Them taking a third, and the game will stabilize from here. There's that 1-1. So Clem now has map control. He's got a decent amount of medevacs. Not as many Marines, as he lost a lot of them earlier, but is able to be quite active here. Threaten the bases. Maybe even pick up some workers. Yeah, we'll see how he's able to perform here. I mean, I don't think Dark is necessarily under threat of losing his bases anytime soon, but he's kind of stuck at home for the most part. We have some decent crease threat here towards the south, but towards the north, not so much. Just because of how active Clem has been. Diving on forward, looking for any kind of pick of a stray queen, a tumor here or there. As we get into the ZvT, a massive shout out to Vindicta Miguelito in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great time. Hope you enjoyed your tournament run as well. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast Vindicta earlier, but I hope you had a good time. Gracias, papi, gracias. Well, as the tanks have now arrived, and this is getting pretty scary here for Dark. The army swims on forward. We do focus down 2 of those Ravagers. Oh my god, the tank fire is insane. Biles do zone away the army for a moment, but Clem is so quick to just keep on pushing. The tanks leapfrogging forward. Clem just bullying Dark back. Biles will be able to take down one of those tanks. It looks like they go for another, but no, it's not going to be enough. Clem breaks through. 1-1 finishes up a couple of seconds too late. Again, you hate to see Roach Ravager against Marine. Almost every single Ravager gets focused down. The base has been broken. The mineral line falls. And Clem is looking to take a lead in this series. We have some Roach reinforcements coming out, and it looks like Dark is barely going to be able to hold on. But no, the tanks keep on pushing. Clem can't stop. He won't stop. Just rallying everything across the map. Getting a 4th CC behind this. Even if Dark had finished 1-1 in time for the fight, I don't know if that would have been the difference to hold on to his bases. Don't quite think that would have been enough. Biles will connect on not just the tank, but also some medevacs as well, which is nice. We don't have as many Marines remaining here. As Clem goes for a couple of scans, I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about himself, recognizing that Dark doesn't have a 4th. Even if Clem gets pushed back here, he's done more than enough damage. Oh my god. As tank shots continue to go off, Darky's getting some value here with his Roach Ravager. You know, he's picking up some medevacs here and there, some tanks as well. He's going for a counterattack. But the economy of Dark is really what's hurting. Not just the economy, but the production as well. He has such limited larva. Hatcheries, drones. And over time, Clem is just going to snowball out of control. The only world where Dark can maybe take this game or survive a little bit longer is if these Biles somehow connect with the Marines. But there it is. GG gets called. And Clem will take game number 1. GG. What was the opener? Oh yeah, it was a 3-Rack Reaper opener. Este Asher. Ash is asking for Clem replays. If you want replay packs, consider subscribing. Consider subscribing to the channel. We do, of course, release replay packs to our subscribers. Not from ESL Open Cup, not from the ESL Open Cups, but from tournaments like the Kung Fu Cup, for example. Of course, Sparkling Tuna Cup, the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, the OSC King of the Hill. We do have a lot of replay packs available if you're interested. As we slip into game number 2, and I'm concerned because Dark is 1 game away from elimination. The last Zerg player of the tournament is 1 game away from being eliminated, and that would be a shame. I do just want, personally, I would love a little bit of diversity coming into the semifinals, but alas, the Protoss and the Terrans are coming out strong here today. Feel Solar, man. We talked about it earlier, but Solar did forfeit. He did not compete. He was walked over even. Feels bad, man. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Leading the series 1-0, and we spoke about it earlier, but in the most recent series between these two players, Clem has had the advantage. He has been beating Dark in the Kung Fu Cups, in World Team League, and now potentially ESL Open Cup as well. This is typically Dark's stomping ground. This is where he reigns supreme. Dark, he's won countless of these online ESL Americas tournaments. But Clem is here to take that from him. And again, with a really really cool opener in the last game as well. You know, pulling a bit of a Beyond, going for a 3-Racks. Initially showing a 2-Racks, but going for that 3rd-Racks in the end. And here on Royal Blood, we see something very different. The Rax is at the ramp. You love to see it. It's crazy, Bobby. It's crazy. No Rax at the natural. Why? Because this isn't Beyond. This is Clem, of course. And if it was Beyond, he would be going game after game for these 2 Raxes here at the natural base. He's very consistent when it comes to his opener. Clem, a little bit more versatile. We were speaking about it earlier, but he's willing to go for these very aggressive openers. He's willing to slow things down and go into mech as well, or 3cc 2-on-1. That's what his So much fun to watch about us. So much fun to watch as well when it comes to Clem. It's just the variety that he brings here to the matchup. Not just the variety, but also how well he can execute these builds as well. As a shout out to Rowbags. Thank you so much, Papi, for subscribing 2 months in a row. Thank you, Rowbags. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. Oh, less than 3. Less than 3. No, David's in the chat as well. Papi. Good morning, Papi. Good morning. As First Reaper is here dancing with the Lings of Dark. We're going to trade as best he can. The Queens have now arrived. Dark, of course, going for a Hatch Gas Pool opener. Third base on time, on location. Nothing too crazy out of Dark. Meanwhile, Clem is going for a 3cc opener. This 3cc even thrown down before the factory is even done. So very economic out of Clem. A stark contrast compared to what happened and what did occur in Game 1. Game 1, hyper aggression. Game 2, all about the greed. As it is going to be a 3cc 1-1-1 opener into that starport. Tech Lab is on the way, so we could be seeing a bit of an add-on swap here to go into a Banshee. This is an option here for Clem. Have I seen Clem go for a Raven opener? I think I've seen Gumiho go for that. Maybe Maru. Don't know if Clem is that kind of player. I hope not. As there we go, it is going to be the Banshee on the way here for Clem. Initial Reapers and Hellions just dancing with the Queens, testing the waters whenever they can, maybe taking down some larva as well, but oh, we are quick to morph in that Zergling. Dark is able to hold on. Back across the map, Cloak is being researched, and we'll see how committed this is going to be here for Clem. For the time being, we're just kind of ramping up into things. Oh, Dark is going for a very early lair, though. That is a 4 minutes lair. You know what that means? It's going to be a Link Queen Nidus Soul in. We'll see, we'll see. We'll see how committed this will be from Dark, but he is very prone to going for Niduses. There is an Overlord in position on the right-hand side. Before that occurs, we are taking a second gas. Oh my god, the Hellions have bypassed the Queens, but no, we have Lings in position. Clem is not able to get into the mineral line. Doesn't make it past the army. I believe 2 gases can still facilitate 4 Nidus play, as we have a lot of Lings in production. We're still droning behind this. So it's possible that Dark... Nah, he's committing. It is going to be the Link Queen Nidus all in. Again, from here, you do typically only get 2 gases. If we had any more, we'd probably see a Roach Warren. Lings attempt to go for a counterattack. They do get a surround here on the Hellions across the map. Not just that, but also force a lift off at the third base. The wall is not a wall. And we are forcing Clem to turn back around. This is going to create an opening here for this Overlord. As Clem is going into mech. We were talking about it earlier, but Clem... typically in a best of series, he does whip out mech at some point against Zerg. We even have that Raven on the way, as we were saying earlier. Nidus is thrown down, and because of that Ling run by, because Ling counterattack Clem, he pulled back his Marine. He doesn't see, he doesn't know. Oof. And there we go, the Nidus does finish up. The boys are pulled a little bit too late. The Queens do flood on in. The Hellions are racing back home. The Banshees as well, but we have a detection, we have creep. Oh, and what do we have to defend? There are no tanks, there are no Marines. There is a tank in production in the back line. Oh, can we transfuse? Oh, we do transfuse the Queen in time. And Nidus is being thrown down all over the place. Oh my god. And it looks like the first tank is gonna come out. Is that going to be enough to hold on, as we have already lost 15 SCVs? The Queen's pushing forward here. There's not much to protect these tanks. We do have some very nice Sim City. Some great choke points are being made use of from these Hellions. Oh god, but there are still so many Queens. And at this point, the Lings, they can just flood into the natural instead. They don't have to break the tanks. as we are camping the production. Queens are forced to back off. But there's that Nidus at the natural. Yeah, and the Hellions have already fallen. The tanks are going down one after the other. Oh no, the friendly fire! As Dark is bringing this series back, we will have an ace match. That's all I wanted. As with this Nidus as well, we're able to rotate down onto the low ground as well, laying siege upon the natural base of Clem. Clem trying to hold on here in the corner of his base with pure tank. Coping a little bit, but it's fine, puppy, it's fine. As GG gets called and Dark will take game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Oh, and with that, we're getting into game number 3. We have an ace match. So, I was talking about how Clem typically goes mech at least once in a series against Terran. Against Zerg. Likewise, at least once in a series against Terran. Dark does like his Link Queen Nidus all in. He does it quite often. Quite often. Whether it's against players like Clem, players like Bjorn, Gumiho, Dark is more than willing to whip out the Link Queen Nidus. Oh, let's go. And now the ace match will be taking place on Neo Humanity. What if you target every Ravager and never eat a bile? Yeah, that's all you have to do. See, Colossal Gope, Colossi, he knows. He knows, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Oh. So here we go. We're getting into the ace match. Getting into game number 3. And spawning. In the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Kai Z Gaming. Tying up the series 1-1 in that last game, it is Dark. And spawning. In the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Oh boy, so we've already had quite a lot shown by these players throughout the course of this series, and Clem with that depot is not going to be going for the 2-Rax opener. Feels bad, man. I kind of wanted to see it again, not going to lie. But his Rax is going to be more sensibly placed here at the top of his ramp. You love to see it. Likewise, Dark going for a hatch first, which is important to point out. He has been known more often than not actually to go for pool first on Neo Humanity. But we can see Dark is not going to be taking that route here. Just going for a standard hatch first instead. Let's go. And with that, we have a pretty standard setup here for potentially a standard game. Nah. it's Clem and Dark we're talking about. I'm sure we're gonna be seeing a lot of fireworks, of course, here to end things off in the ace match. At least, again, I'm glad that we're gonna be going the distance here. We're squeezing out as much as we can out of these two players. Oh, give us all the milk. And I believe, do we have an opponent's ready and waiting for them? I know Creator versus Gumiho was underway. They actually started at around the same time as this series, and it looks like they are still ongoing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they're being casted by anyone. I know there are a lot of people in this lobby. I'm pretty sure Artosis and Steadfast, and I think every caster actually. Maybe Chicken Man. Maybe Chicken Man has another series. Shout out to El Pollo Loco. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. But he may be over in the lower half of the bracket instead. As the first Reaper does show up to dance here with Zlings. Dark doing dark things, making 6 Lings instead of 4, just to make sure he's safe and sound against the initial Reaper. As Dark is taking his third here, but he's going to be taking the linear third base instead. Okay, so a much more defensive, conservative base being taken by Dark. Likewise, Clem is going to be going for a 3cc opener once again for a second game in a row. Likely to be a 3cc Banshee, but no, it is going to be a 3cc 2-1-1 instead. Okay. Clem mixing it up for a third time. Different openers every game so far. Let's go. The 3cc 2-1-1. Of course, this is going to give Dark quite a bit of freedom in the early game. We aren't going to have that many Hellions to threaten the bases of Dark. So Dark will be able to drone up quite happily here and have a much more comfortable early game leading into said mid game. As we wouldn't have the same amounts of Hellions and Banshees harassing the mineral lines as we did in the previous game, for example. Be droning, working towards stim. We're going to be working for a bit of a later timing with, of course, the starport with a medevac drop with said Marines. Oh my god, as the Hellions actually run past the Queens, they dive into the main base. They're going for the drones. Oh my god. Trying to catch Dark being a little bit too greedy, but it looks like Dark will not lose any of his workers as he does shut this down. One Hellion does barely escape the clutches of the main. But as Link Speed finishes up, it looks like the Hellion should be hunted down. It was a risky move here from Clem, a move that I don't think was quite worth it, as Dark does go for another lair. Now, this lair is later than last game. Last game was a 4-minute lair. This was a 4-minute 20-ish lair, so a little bit more of a standard lair timing. As I say that, we have a Roach Warren. Okay, interesting, interesting. So later lair in favor of a faster Roach Warren. Overlord dives in, confirms the lack of Banshee production, confirms the 3cc 2-1-1. And with that, the Spore Crawlers were cancelled. And momentarily, as soon as these medevacs come out, Clem can be active on the map with his Marines. I imagine with all these gases being taken, Dark just intends to go for Roach production into, I imagine, double Evo chambers as well for 1-1 Roach. But we shall see, as Roach speed is going to be prioritized. Clem is looking to push out. Oh, that's a brutal supply block, by the way. I did notice that this is the second supply block of the game, as 5 Overlords are being made. This is not ideal here for Dark at all, especially with these Marines bowing down the left-hand side of the map. Looks like we will have enough Queens to hold on, though. We have 12 more Roaches on the way, another Overlord being sniped, and the Queens with a good concave are going to force these Marines back. There's 2 Evo chambers, 4-1-1. Roaches have now popped out, and the danger that Dark was once under, now not so much. We do see Clem is going to be able to at least clean up all this creep, but we have plenty of Queens to respread it. As Dark maintains this creep spread, we do see a 4th base being taken, and Clem is going to rotate over, just getting an eye on things, looking to maybe punish a base if possible, but the Roaches are able to keep up. Once again, another big supply block for Dark. 4 more Overlords on the way. 5 even. So this is the 3rd supply block, by the way. I didn't bring up the first one because I didn't want to bring too much attention to it, but the 2nd and the 3rd have been pretty brutal. I mean, thankfully it's not like Clem is pushing, so it's not going to be the biggest of deals, but this is slowing him down. It's okay, it's okay. With this, Dark is going to be able to eventually saturate his 4 bases here. Continue his Screech Red. Clem now being active with a double drop towards the north and south. Is going to try to pull Dark apart, but alas, Dark has already pre-split his army, and Clem is having a hard time finding damage. Again, this opener from Clem, while being economic, sure, just hasn't really applied too much pressure, and Dark is getting into his game. 1-1 about to kick in, and Dark, fully saturated with as many drones as he needs, which is going to be 73 at this point. He's looking to max out with Roach Ravager and lay siege upon this third base. What do we have at home to defend? We have 2 tanks at the third. We've got a tank set up here at the natural. These drops are really the only thing keeping Dark at bay, as the rocks have been cleaned up, and yeah, Dark, he just wants to go. A massive 1-1 timing is about to hit, and Clem is situated quite nicely defensively overall, but we can just bypass some of these bases. We can go straight for the natural if we want. We're going to be pushing between the bases. One tank is already going to be going down. Second tank falls as well, and a third. The tanks are really the only thing keeping the Roach Ravager back, and it looks like the final tank of the third is going to go down. Oh, but the Marines, Papi. The Marines and the Marauders, they actually do get a pretty decent surround, and Dark is going to be losing everything. Sure, Clem may have lost the tanks, but really it wasn't about the tanks at all. It was about the Marines and the Marauders. Dark maybe a little bit tunnel visioning, visioned in that fight. Ooh. So do you see Dark being forced back once again? Tanks being rebuilt, fourth base being taken. Clem in a pretty damn good position after that. That push was designed to kill, by the way, at least maim, at least cripple one of the bases, but no. Clem was able to hold on, and now he's the one with the map control. He goes for a counterattack. The Overlords, they're being focused down. The Ravagers as well. Oh god, this is getting a bit out of hand, a bit out of control. At the same time, we do have a massive counterattack. The base under threat. 11 SCVs will get picked off. Pretty necessary damage here by Dark. He needs to do something to slow down the economy of Clem. As 2-2 is on the horizon. Dark hasn't droned in quite some time. Bear that in mind. He's still very committed here with pure Roach Ravager. He's been able to do some damage. He's still having a hard time dealing with the bio army of Clem. Reinforcing now with Lings. He wants to try to break this planetary. But we just don't have enough Roach Ravager. Oh my god, the tank's getting so many hits off. And as much as I would want Dark to back off and drone, I don't think he will. Oh god, a bit of an anti-timing as 2-2 finally kicks in for Dark after the fight. He's going to be able to shave off a couple of Marines, and there we go. We're going to be droning up at least a little bit. We do see a scan into the main, just getting eyes on things, making sure that there is no hive, that there is no lurker transition. As Clem is just powering up behind this, working on 3-3. Ghost Academy done. Ghost on the way. Yeah, Dark, this tech feels late. The infestation pit's being thrown down. It does feel like Dark intended for the game to end before this, and this infestation pit is more of an afterthought. Up! 2 tanks do go down, or I think 1 tank there to those rocks. Nicely done here by Dark. You don't see it too often. But we can see Clem is just pushing on through. So many Ravagers going down. The value here that Clem has gotten is insane. And Dark is crumbling under the pressure. He's going to be able to take down another tank. But it does feel like Dark is just stalling here, and he just can't buy enough time. I would have loved to have seen maybe an Infestor behind this. Oh my god. As Biles this time will connect with the army. Not a bad moment there for Dark. As the hive is in production. Plus 1 melee on the way. Oof. These snipes are quite brutal. More Ravagers go down. Yeah, just over time, Clem has just been trading so efficiently behind this. He's getting 2-3 more CCs. Look at that tank spread. We just can't engage. Oh my god, we can't engage, Papi. Ah. Oh, guys, we bleed out a lot of Ravagers and Roaches there in that push. Again, we have to hold on to this base, though. That's the thing. We can't allow Clem to get up this ramp. Dark is forced to fight. You know, there we go. 4 Infestors are on the way. That will help support this army, but there is no Pathogen Glands. The Infestors, they need time to gather energy. And the tank count is getting out of control. We have 11 tanks on the field for Clem. He's slowly pushing up this ramp, pushing onto Dark's half of the map. These Infestors, they feel a little bit too little too late. The base has fallen. Dark trying to expand here on the right-hand side. His economy not too impacted by this. The tanks have now made it up the ramp. Ah. Looks like we do have a fungal available. We do connect with at least 2 of those ghosts. Oh my god, but the push here from these tanks is insane. Miles connecting, but the EMPs, the counter EMPs are too good, and it looks like we have run out of steam. Clem snowballing out of control. He takes on every single Roach, Ravager, and Infestor in sight, and he busts on through. The last Zerg player of the tournament is going to be going down here, and GG gets called. Clem takes the series 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. Which button is it? Yeah. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem. Dark, we were talking about the supply blocks earlier, and especially since he was working up towards his 1-1 timing, I do think that did hurt him, that did slow him down overall. And when it came to that 1-1 fight as well, it did feel like he was hyper fixated on killing those tanks. We saw that the bio army of Clem just got a little bit too out of control as that was happening. And after that moment, it felt like Clem was in full control. I guess there was another moment after that, if you remember, where Dark hit an anti-timing. It was like 20 seconds before 2-2 kicked in, when Dark was trying to force the issue at the planetary. And likewise, again, he also lost a massive chunk of his Roach Ravager army. By that point, though, you could argue that Clem was already getting out of control. Like, he was already getting his 4th base up and running. Like, he had a good economy behind it as well. Like, Dark was just pretty all in with how he was playing, and he just wasn't able to break the defenses of Clem. GG. GG, well played. And congratulations to Clem, as he is going to be advancing on in this tournament. And does he have an opponent ready and waiting? That is the question. Do we have a Terran? Do we have a Protoss? We do. Oh my god. Creator takes down Gumiho 2-0, and Clem moves on into a TVP. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go.